basketball! Welcome back to Good Morning Let's Basketball for another week. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all who have been supporting the channel. And today we got a lot packed. My name is Daniel. These are my co-hosts Kevin, Victor, and Mike. And today we got a lot on our plates. We got NBA play-in tournament. We're finally rounding the corner to the playoffs. We're going to move into the finalized Olympic rosters. We got guess the NBA players by quotes. That's going to be a fun one you guys could play at home with. And breakout player of the playoff predictions. We got a lot of fun stuff coming up. We appreciate everyone who's been subscribing on YouTube and liking the videos. We're growing pretty fast. And we appreciate if you're on audio, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. We appreciate you listening as well. Help us hit the goal of 600 subs by the end of April. But with that being said, we're going to jump right into it. Kevin, go ahead and take us away.
Yeah. So like Miles said, we're edging that corner to the NBA playoffs. At the time of this recording, the first few or so games have already happened, and the 8 seeded games will be played tomorrow between the Kings and Pelicans for that 8th seed to play the Oklahoma City Thunder, and the Chicago Bulls and Miami Heat playing for the 8th seed spot in the East to play the Boston Celtics. So kind of just getting into it, talking about these games coming up tomorrow. Between the Kings and Pelicans, if I had to pick a winner right now, I'd probably go ahead and say Sacramento. Pelicans are coming off of 2 losses. Sacramento absolutely dusted the Warriors, and they looked really good. Keon Ellis is looking insane for the Kings right now. So I'm going to go ahead and say the Kings. And as
Nah,
far as the Eastern Conference game,
the
go ahead.
Warriors looked horrible though. That was
Yeah,
just as much Warriors being horrible as it was Kings being good. Warriors were trash.
they were
Zion
trash.
was
The
out
Kings
too.
were playing. The Kings were playing pretty well. And Zion Williamson is out with injury. He left the game with about 3 minutes left against that Lakers in the first NBA in-season tournament game, which they did miss out on because he was playing extremely well. He had 40 points. I don't know
Did
if you guys
Brandon
were watching
Ingram
that
get
game,
hurt
but
too? Because he only played like 25 minutes or something.
he just recently came back from injuries, so I think
Okay.
maybe
That's right. That's
it,
right.
it I think that injury may have still been like lurking a little bit. I don't know if he was playing 100% against the Lakers in the in-season tournament game.
That's true.
Looking forward to the Eastern Conference game tomorrow as well. We have the Bulls playing the Miami Heat. We've got some Bulls fans on the podcast here. I would like to say the Bulls. The Miami Heat are going to be without Jimmy Butler. He sustained an injury last night against the Philadelphia 76ers in the first quarter and actually played through it, but he's deemed to be out for several weeks with a MCL injury, I believe it was. And so I'm gonna go ahead and take Chicago. But to be honest, I think the Bulls and the Heat are kind of playing for like who's just gonna lose to the Celtics. So I'd rather the Bulls just get like the higher draft pick in this scenario. But I'm still gonna root for them to win. I'd like to see them play games and compete, especially with how well. I mean, the Bulls looked pretty damn good last night. Kobe White got a career high 42 points, which doesn't even count.
They
Like
It's a
said
they
he's
playoff
they
gonna
said
career
that.
count.
high.
No, it's not counting. They said like it's like they don't count in season tournament games as like actual like stats.
Yeah, he was saying though he's gonna count it. He's like, I don't care. That's the highest I ever got in my career.
Yeah, you do that, pal.
That's crazy. If you would have asked me whether or not Kobe White dropped 50, I would have for sure said yes at some point this season. I would not.
50?
Yeah, bro. I don't know. He's been going off all season.
Yeah. His career high was this year against Sacramento. He had 37. So that was
That's
his first 40
it?
point game. That's it.
Damn. I thought, dude, I could have sworn bro was dropping 40 all season, bro. I might be out of touch.
Fun fact: Malachi Flynn has 150-point games this season, and Jason Tatum has 0.
Yeah, well,
Hoopla.
I would talk about your favorite team, but this is probably the last time we'll talk about them this season, so I'll let you have your moment.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Bulls over the Heat. As much as I want to say that it would be poetic for the Heat to do it to the Celtics again, I just like the odds of the Bulls kind of coming together and having a similar situation as Sacramento and the Warriors, like you guys said, where it's kind of a combination of one team playing bad and another team just playing as good as they can. That's kind of what I foresee in the future of that matchup between Heat and Bulls. So yeah, that's probably going to be my pick. But they're both just, like Kevin said, fighting to see who has to lose to the Celtics. So
Yeah, I gotta take the Heat on this one. Even without Butler, though, that team was good. That team was destroying the Sixers with an injured Jimmy Butler up until like the fourth quarter. They got lucky. The Sixers got lucky. They didn't lose that game.
Nick Batum.
Nick Batum. What is he like 37, something like that? Had to come in here and save the day. That's crazy, bro.
do
I
we
Hey,
remember Campaign checked in for like his first possession in the fourth quarter or something and like just drilled a three right away.
yeah,
Like,
like
bro,
that
they
deep
just
corner
turned up.
three.
Yeah.
That pissed me off. But Philly, they're advancing to the seventh seed. Without if Embiid never sustained an injury, they would ideally be a lot higher in the
True.
seeding. So now they're playing a tougher team in the first round. But kind of backing off of that, we'll go ahead and talk about the East here, about what the playoff picture is looking like. We got the Knicks versus Philly, Pacers versus Bucks, Magic versus Cavs, and then Celtics are either playing Chicago or Miami, like we have stated. I don't want to give my 2 cents on this Knicks and Philly series here because I think it's going to be a lot better than people are thinking. Um, Last Sunday, New York and Chicago played a game, and if the Knicks beat Chicago, they would have secured the second seed in the East, and they did, and they secured that second seed. I don't think them winning that game though and securing that second seed was in their best interest though, because now they have to play a way tougher team in Philly, which if they had lost, they would have had to play Milwaukee. And I think that game would have been a lot better for them or a lot like better series for them than it would Philly. So they seemed very eager to lock down that second seed. And I was kind of confused as to why that would have been the case. Now, obviously, they didn't know what the turnout was going to be between like the playing tournament, but it turned out in I think the worst way possible in them playing Philly, who was a top three team in the East before Embiid even got hurt.
Does home court advantage mean anything for the second seed? Or is it only the first seed?
What do you
I
mean?
forgot. Like, isn't there a if let's say the Knicks advance and they end up playing the Celtics still get home court advantage, right?
Yeah, the
Uh,
one seed.
okay, so yeah, I mean that's pretty much all I could think of. Like obviously they don't know how it's gonna shake out, but that's interesting because I actually didn't know that. That's it's interesting. Was Giannis was injured already too, right? At the point where they stole the second seed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why they would do that. Maybe they just think it's a better matchup. Maybe get the harder team out of the way first. I don't know.
I see where you're coming from, Kevin, on that. Philly's probably the team you definitely or yeah, I see where you're coming from saying that Philly's their hardest matchup in this list, but honestly, like maybe this is very different from my opinion on the Knicks at the beginning of the season, but I don't really see a lot of these teams giving them too much pressure, honestly. Like this series of Knicks versus 76ers, I would imagine would be an easy 4-2 in and out for the Knicks.
I don't think 4-2 is really like easy. I mean,
No, you're right.
easy is a sweep.
Yeah, that's
Four,
true.
four, 6 game series is definitely competitive at some sort, but just like the way like Philly matches up pretty well with New York. I mean, they're better at the bigs between Embiid and Hartenstein. I think Embiid definitely has the edge there. They have good guards. I mean, so does New York. They have Jalen Brunson, obviously, who's playing out of his mind right now. And they have really good wing players, too. I mean, Kelly Oubre, say what you want about him, but he's pretty solid. He's been playing very well this year. They also have Tobias Harris, Buddy Hield. And the Knicks are going to be without Julius Randle, which a lot of people think is better because quite literally they're playing better without him. But I think it would help to have him there. Say what you want. Like, I don't really care if they have more wins with or without him, whatever the case is. I think it would be better to have your team fully healthy because adjustments can always be made.
Yeah, I think that's an incredibly ignorant take to say that
Yeah.
their chances are better without their second best player.
Yeah.
I know we rake on him for putting up tour dates in the playoffs as you always say, Kev, but still, it's always good to like because they could always turn it around. You know what I mean? And when they do turn it around, that's a huge difference maker. So that I think it's an ignorant take to say something like that.
Right. And Randall does good things to affect the game. He rebounds very well. He's a pretty decent playmaker. Like he gets his assist numbers up here and there. Solid defender down low, which I think they might need in this series. And it would just be overall better for them just because, they have OG out there too to lock down the perimeter. So I think the series is going to be very interesting to watch. I think it's going to be a very great watch. I just hope New York doesn't plan to rely on Brunson too much. Because if they do, then bad news.
Yeah. Do you agree? I don't remember who said it. It was it Candace Parker? Brianna Stewart? I don't know who it was. Who was the analyst that said that Jalen Brunson can't lead a team because guards can't lead teams? Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Probably
I,
Perk.
I haven't seen that.
Just
I
sounds
haven't
like some
seen
shit
that.
that he would say.
I seen that. I don't know who said it. I remember seeing something else. I think we're talking about the same thing here, but like they also said that like Brunson can't lead a team because he's like undersized,
Yeah, like he's
or
too
like
small.
if yeah, like he's too small. Like if you're the smallest guy on the court, you can't lead a team or something stupid like that.
I,
That sounds like Perk or has to be Stephen A.
it's a girl for sure. I don't remember
It,
who
it
it
was
was.
it was a WNBA player for sure. I remember seeing that, but I
How do
Oh
we
can't
wow.
remember who.
how do we feel about that? Do we think Jalen Brunson could lead them in like to the finals? I mean, okay, finals might be a little bit of a stretch, but do you think he can like lead them to a deep playoff run?
100%. Dude, look what he's already
Absolutely.
been doing.
I mean, if
Not
we're
it's not
saying
the playoffs.
if we're are you saying Jalen Brunson or a player that is his size?
I'm saying Jalen Brunson specifically because
Oh,
we've seen a player his size do it, like
right.
Curry.
That was gonna be my point. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
I don't.
he was pretty good on the Mavs coming off the bench, I guess.
He's gonna be a name in this league for like years to come. I don't see why he couldn't lead a team. And on top of that, the Knicks just have a great team all around with them. I think with Julius Randle not being there, they would have been a hell of a lot better if he was still there. I mean, they're still good, don't get me wrong. But to say he can't lead a team is crazy.
What about that Clippers Mavs series though? It's gonna be a heater, bro.
Taking Mavs,
You're taking Mavs.
100%.
What's the consensus here? I'm interested to know what you guys think about that series.
Luka's the greatest player of all time when he plays the Clippers. That is like the only thing. Like this dude's stats against the Clippers are actually like absurd. I don't know why.
It's not a
No,
bad take
it's
though.
obviously it's deeper than that. The Clippers haven't been too hot recently. Um, I think the Mavericks they're in a good position with so far their experience in the playoffs. They have Luka, one of the best players in the NBA. A lot of people think he should be MVP of the league this year. He won the scoring title this year, and they have Kyrie Irving, which we know what he can do. He's an NBA champion. He helped lead Cleveland to an NBA champion, so it's good to have that guy in your team.
Yeah, also helped ruin a franchise. So it's not always good to have that guy, but yeah, you're halfway right.
Fully right. Anyways, I'm just really worried about Dallas's defense against the Clippers. Clippers have some great players. I'm not sure if Kawhi is active for the series. I know he's dealing with some injury. They said that his like knee was had a lot of soreness.
It's
I
interesting.
remember seeing something along those lines a few days ago. So I'm not quite sure if he's active yet for at least the beginning part of the series coming up with Dallas, or even at all, if that's the fact. I think they're still waiting to drop that news on us. But with Kawhi being out, that definitely helps Dallas' chances tremendously because
He's
we know what Paul George
questionable.
does in the playoffs. As much as
He's
I love
question.
PG
He's questionable right now for game one.
for game one, okay.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go with the Mavericks 4-2. I think that I saw your reaction. I see
You guys
everybody
are
thinking this is
crazy,
gonna
bro.
go. I think everybody's saying this is gonna go game 7. I honestly think it's gonna be a little bit quicker than that, and I think the Mavericks I think
No,
Mavericks
I
have
thought you were gonna
surprised
say it
me.
was gonna go more than that.
No, no, no. Mavericks have honestly surprised me this year. Just seeing what they did in the off season to how well they've actually been performing this season. I think they should surprise a lot of people this year. And with the way Luka Doncic has been putting up video game numbers, I don't see why they can't beat the Clippers. Clippers have been struggling as of late, like Kevin mentioned. They figured it out like early December, early January, but recently they just haven't been able to figure it out. And for those reasons, I'm gonna have to go with the Mavericks.
I'm gonna take the Clippers.
Smart man.
Yeah, I'm taking the Clippers. Give me the dog with more heart in this fight. Um, no, there's not really much more to say. I mean, you guys kind of hit on all
Wait,
the
wait.
points.
What does that
But
mean? What are you referring to?
He doesn't know.
What
the
are you
Clippers,
alluding to
the
with
Clippers have
that?
more heart in this dog fight. Is basically what I was saying.
Okay, that makes sense. Sorry, I thought you were referring to like a player. You just
No,
didn't say who it was.
I think that there is not a likely, but in the fantasy world that Kevin thinks I live in, I think that there's a possibility that the Clippers are sandbagging. And when I look at who else they could have played, this was to me kind of one of the best situations to end up with. I mean, maybe Suns would have been better, but that would have also been tough. And then Nuggets, I mean, obviously you don't want to be in that position. And Thunder, that wasn't really in question because of how high the Clippers were, but you obviously don't want to go through them first round either. But yeah, I like this matchup for them to kind of ease their way into what is going to be a very competitive playoffs. Um, if they can't beat the Mavericks, I think that puts them on a good pace to have a little bit of that confidence to go through some of the stronger teams in the West. But I don't know. At the beginning of the season, I had high hopes for these Clippers teams, but a lot of these Western Conference team looks good, and then you go to the East, and there's some top guys in there too, so it's tough. But yeah, my pick are the Clippers.
Yeah, I'll say it quickly. If Kawhi plays, I'm taking Clippers in 7. I'm definitely on the list of people who think this series will go to 7, and for good reason. I think this is going to be this or Timberwolves Suns is going to be the best first round matchup. My pick for best series is going to be this series for sure, but Knicks Sixers is a close second. I think that's going to be a great series, especially if Embiid is healthy.
Sleeping on Nuggets Lakers.
I am 100% REM, rapid eye movement sleeping on Lakers Nuggets.
No.
Round
The,
sleep.
the what's it called? After the Nuggets won the finals, they had a lot to say about beating the Lakers, sweeping them in the conference finals. And then AD said something after the season ended along the lines of, "All right, bro, we get it. You won." Me and Bron had conversations about it. We can't wait to see him again. So, the beef is there. But I think the Nuggets are so far ahead of the Lakers that this could be a gentleman's sweep. I truly believe the
I
Lakers are the Lakers are a dumpster fire. I'm gonna be completely honest.
I recently saw a comment that kind of brought some things not to light for me, but just made things a little bit more clear. It was like last year the Lakers got swept by the Nuggets, and neither of these two teams have made a lot of adjustments. Like, what do y'all think is going to happen this year? And to be fair, they are right. Honestly, if anything, I won't say the Lakers got worse, but they're in the same position that they've been in for the last like 5 years. New guys come in. Well, there wasn't really that many changes, but just I don't know. So many changes throughout the season with lineups, with people getting injured in and out, and there's just never a feeling of like, oh, this Lakers team has caught fire. This Lakers team has caught that stride. And it hasn't felt like that for years. As for the Nuggets team, well, we've seen what they can do last year and even this year. So I think they'll just continue to do that.
The Nuggets' sexy style of play, I don't get how you can see the Lakers winning at all. And I think Nikola Jokic, he had a watch party for the Lakers Pelicans games with all his teammates. And I just think this team's going to be locked in this playoffs.
This is kind of the last series that I actually give a shit about, but what are we thinking about Bucks Pacers? Is
I
it is
know
it over for the Bucks first round?
people were kind of hoping for this series ever since the like the in-season tournament came. and like since that whole like beef between the two teams started. Milwaukee's going to be without Giannis for a bit, so that definitely hurts them bad. There's not going to be a whole lot of defense played in this series. I think everyone kind of knows that, so I feel like it's just going to be a shootout at this point. There is a lot of pressure on Dame, I think, to just kind of carry them
Yeah.
over while Giannis is gone.
I honestly, we were talking about best and worst series earlier. I think this is going to be the worst series of the playoffs. But I just want to appreciate every like the first round, like all the series are going to be great matchups. I think this is probably going to be one of the most competitive playoffs we've had in years. But
What makes you say it's going to be the worst, if you don't mind me asking?
I just think with the other teams like matched up and stuff, it just looks like it's going to be a lot more competitive. I think Timberwolves and Suns going to be really good. Nuggets and Lakers, there's that rivalry. Knicks and 76ers, I could see that going to game 7. Cavaliers and Magic, I really like
It's
that
going game
series.
7.
What?
Cleveland and Magic. That's going 7.
I think that's going to be a really interesting series to see how well the Magic play against the Cavaliers, who've obviously have had experience in the Cavaliers. I mean, the Cavaliers have had experience in the playoffs, while the Magic haven't. But the Magic have been playing really good this season. But the Bucks and Pacers, like with Giannis being out, the first couple games of the season, and the Bucks just been like very disappointing this season, and then the Pacers after the All-Star break haven't been that great. I just don't think it's gonna be the most exciting series to watch. I think it's gonna be the least.
I'm gonna be honest, bro. Cleveland, Orlando sounds. I don't. You won't. I don't think I'm gonna watch a lot of that series. I think that's the worst series.
So I'll say that
Straight defense.
I kind of have the same opinion, but mine is based on something dumber. So and I won't even mention it. But yeah, my first intuition is that Cleveland and Orlando would be a boring matchup, but the more I think about it, like this year, these two teams, I won't say have a very similar play style, but I just feel like they will match up very well, and they'll give us some fireworks in the playoffs. I think that they'll have some good games and good back and forth between both teams.
I was just gonna say I just like watching teams like play in the playoffs who we don't normally see. So like seeing the Orlando Magic, like a very young team, like I want to see how they perform like in the playoffs. So I definitely will be tuning into this.
I wanted to say too, I mean, going off of kind of what you said, like we haven't seen Pacers really be this far into the fucking playoffs in a while, and I do think that they have a good chance of beating this Bucks team, especially with Giannis being out. Honestly, I I mean we've talked extensively about how the Bucks like roster is not that deep, and I mean I guess I won't say that the Pacers is, but I do like the Pacers' chances more, in a long stretch in a series between them and the Bucks, including their bench. So I'm taking Pacers over the Bucks.
What's the series this season between them, between the Bucks and the Pacers? Because y'all are talking about beef, but like, bro, these two franchises have been going at it all season, bro. All season. We had the whole game ball incident. We had Tyrese getting shoulder checked by Giannis. Also like, yes, Giannis is out, but Dame is also averaging like 30 points, 8 assists, and 5 rebounds without Giannis. So we might be able to see a vintage Dame finally, because I've been waiting all season to see it like consistently. And this might be the time, bro. We know playoff Dame, bro. We know his history. This man is cold. This is gonna be a good series.
You bet he's allergic to the finals.
Who,
Or
Dame?
playoffs.
Yeah.
Dame's allergic to the second round.
Bro, he went to the conference finals, bro. What are you talking
He,
about?
he I said allergic to the finals. I didn't say conference finals. I know he's been to the conference finals.
I mean, come on, man. How many finals have the Portland Trailblazers been to? Cut him
That
some
ain't my
slack.
problem.
Hey,
Cut
I'm
him
pretty
some
Greatest
sure.
slack,
generation.
bro. His second best player was CJ McCollum. Dude, I'm pretty sure it's like four. I think the Pacers are 4-0 against the Bucks this season.
They
I'm
they
not
I
even
think
fucking
they are.
lying.
Yeah,
They're
that's
they're
what I
four
was
and
gonna
one.
say.
I just
four
Four
and
and
just
one.
one.
found it. Yeah,
4-1.
Pacers are 4-1.
I'm
The
telling
one
you,
game the
bro.
Bucks won is when Giannis got the game ball incident. That was the one time.
Oh yeah. So it takes a 62 point or whatever Giannis performance just to beat the
Yeah,
Pacers.
by a few. It wasn't like they like killed them, and it was in Milwaukee.
Damn. Yeah, bro. That's a series I don't think we should sleep on. Like, yes, I will watch
Definitely
the
not.
Orlando Cleveland series, but I will care more about the Pacers Bucks. Because bro, if the
I
Bucks
agree.
leave first round, that's bad luck. Bad luck.
Dame Dame's out. If Cleveland loses, Donovan Mitchell's out.
You know
If
what?
they lose first round, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Daniel.
No, I was just I'm very off topic, right? Not very off topic, but like I'm looking at the two first seed spots, OKC and Celtics, and I'm like, okay, so Celtics are obviously blowing through. But in the event that like OKC has to play the Kings, do we think that that's something that could be dangerous for OKC? I'm thinking that
Yeah,
that's not
Yeah.
an easy like blow through for them.
definitely not. I think the Kings match up really well right now. Like I mentioned earlier, Keon Ellis, he's been in the starting lineup for the Sacramento Kings recently. Second-year player, undrafted out of Alabama, was guarding Steph Curry
And he
the
picked
other
his
night,
pocket. Picked his
and he
pocket.
did he did extremely well on Stephen Curry. Like this kid has a motor, so I think he would definitely be matched up with guarding SGA. If not him, then Fox. But um, Sacramento also definitely has Sabonis, who I think could do a lot of work and do well against Chet Holmgren. Because like Sabonis, he isn't a cone. Like he can move pretty well for
He's
his size.
physical. He's physical
He's
too.
very physical. He's a big guy. So and he could like I said, like he can move too. Like I think he could definitely like somewhat stay with Chet out on the perimeter if he goes out there. I think I'm rooting for a Kings Thunder series. I think that would be awesome.
I'm just thinking too, like another factor that comes into my brain is the fact that the Kings at the very least have already started their postseason kind of like the tournament basically. Whereas OKC being such a fresh team and not really having that much experience in the playoffs, obviously had their bye and they're going into a series with a team that is coming in very like competitively if they beat out the Pelicans.
It should be mentioned that the Kings are playing without Monk and Herter though. So I don't know if it'll
That
be
is
as
true.
competitive as we want it to be, but I think the Kings as like a whole have a motor. Like Keon Ellis especially, but that team just runs and guns, bro. Keegan Murray, playoff. Oh wait, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. We'll get to that later. Little little hint for later.
Foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing. I like that.
All right, so we've given our takes on what we think about the NBA playoffs coming up here this upcoming weekend. Now we're going to get into which player who we think might have a breakout in this upcoming playoffs. There's always a few players that always really shine in the NBA playoffs. We're going to mention some names and see if you guys agree. Who wants to go first? Miles,
I'll
let's
go.
go. You go first. Let's have Miles go first. Let's go.
Hey, I don't mind going first at all. My playoff breakout performer, Keegan Murray, bro. Keegan Murray is gonna come out if they make the playoffs. All right, let's say that. Let's preface it with that. If the Kings make the playoffs, he's gonna have a great series, but he's probably gonna get eliminated. So my second option is OG Anunoby. OG Anunoby will come out. He's already good. We know he's already a great player, but I think he's going to turn it up in the playoffs, bro. I think this man is going to elevate himself to a new height as pretty much would you call him a second or third option? I'd say probably second, bro. Without Randall, he's probably going to be a
Nah,
second option.
mm,
Unless you go to Hart,
that's
DiVincenzo.
DiVincenzo's been shooting the ball really well
yeah.
as of late, but does he like shot create like that? Not really.
I think I think
But I'd probably say
OG.
second.
Yeah, I think I would say second, but I'm gonna say OG Anunoby is gonna be the breakout player if the Kings don't make it. If not, it's gonna be Keegan Murray. Looking at the Knicks matchup against the Sixers, I mean, my man is probably gonna be guarding Tobias Harris. I mean, because he can't guard Embiid. I don't think he's going to guard Maxey. Um, so he's probably going to be on Tobias Harris. And honestly, if you ask me, I don't think that's a terrible matchup. He's going to have a lot to give on offense in the first round. And number one thing is they need him. They need that player to to take the load over on offense, especially without Randall. And I think it's going to be him. And because Randall's hurt and we don't know what's going to happen with him in the playoffs, it's OG Anunoby.
For my player that I think is going to have a breakout season this NBA playoffs, I'm gonna have to go with the big ragu. Give me Dante DiVincenzo. Miles was talking about him earlier. This dude has had his best season this year. He came off the bench for the start of the season for the Knicks, creeped his way up into the starting lineup, and he's averaging 15 right now. He's already has that playoff experience with the Bucks. They won a championship, and he's averaging 15 right now. This guy is really good aggressively on defensive end, and then he has also been confident in his shooting ability. And I think he's gonna prove himself with the Knicks this postseason. I think they're gonna beat the 76ers the first round. And he even set a Knicks franchise for 3-pointers made in a single season this year, which was 11. So this kid has been balling out this season. I shouldn't say kid; he's older than me, but
I guess I'll go next. For my player, that I picked for this, it's gonna be a little contradictory because I had the Clippers beating the Mavericks. But in a world where the Mavericks do get past, my pick is gonna be Luka Doncic, which doesn't seem like or it seems like an obvious choice. Like, okay, like he's probably gonna be good. I think he's gonna do like some crazy shit though this playoffs. I think
That's
I
valid.
I
That's
watched
valid.
so I watched recently a video by shout out Jimmy High Roller. Love his videos, yada yada yada. But he talks about that. He like puts basically like a shadow of a player, and he says, if I told you that this player who's averaging 34, 9, and 9.8, is fourth, I think, in the MVP race right now, would you believe me? And it was kind of shocking to see how well like Luka's been doing, but it does make sense, right? In a long season like the NBA has, with so many people going off like all the time and having both, personal franchise records, all that kind of stuff. Really good players get lost kind of in the whole mess of things. Um, that being said, playoffs being around or playoffs ensuing, right? I think that the spotlight will be on that Mavericks team, and I think that having Kyrie and just basically the general aura around the Mavericks right now is really good. And I think that Luka will. I mean, we know how good Luka is, but I think it's time for kind of everyone that's watching the playoffs to be like, holy shit, like Luka is that guy in a way. Again, I know that these things are already kind of proven. I just think he's gonna kind of kick it up, like have almost like a Jimmy Butler performance. You know what I mean? Where after the playoffs, people are like, is Jimmy Butler the best playoff player of all time? All that kind of stuff. That's the kind of playoff performance that I see out of Luka. The other player is just Russell Westbrook. I won't go much into detail on that, but with Kawhi Leonard being out, if he is out, I could see him taking a little bit of a higher role on that team and just kind of helping out. I'm not saying he's going to turn into the second coming of, I don't know, himself, I guess, but I think he can be helpful for that Clippers team.
I'll go to Zubats before I go to Westbrook. But my player who I think will have a breakout in this upcoming dance, go ahead and give me Jalen Williams from the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Thunder need someone to step up. They rely on Shea so heavily, and J Dub is extremely talented. So they're going to need someone to really come into their own and be able to put on, because we've seen a trend with mid-range merchants in the playoffs. Don't normally do that well. The OGs, they lock in a little bit more on defense. Not saying Shea is going to get locked in or locked up and that he's not going to perform good. So before you nerds go blasting on your phones saying that I think Shea's trash, I didn't say that. I think he's going to do just fine. But it's going to have to take a little bit more if the Thunder don't want to get bounced first round. I saw Colin Cowherd say the other day, he gave a playoff hot take, and he said that the Thunder win one series max. Max one series. He thinks it's possible they get bounced first, or if they win the first, they get bounced second. In order to avoid that, I think J Dub is going to have to step in his zone because Chet Holmgren's a rookie. And I feel like you cannot rely on a rookie to take you on a deep playoff run. I don't care how good they are. So I think J Dub is definitely going to have to fill that role. And he's extremely talented and a really good scorer.
What if they're like Tim Duncan, who like won the chip in his first year
Yeah,
and
he
took them
also
all the way?
played. Yeah, he also like played with
And,
David Robinson.
and he was the Finals MVP too.
He also played with like David Robinson and shit. Though Chet Holmgren isn't Tim Duncan because he averaged none of those numbers, not even close.
Nah, you for sure have a point. That's the only example I can think of, and that was fucking what, 98, 99, something like that.
98, I believe. Before our time.
Yeah, for sure. Not Victor though. His old ass.
My other breakout player, using Daniel's logic, LeBron James.
My breakout player will probably be the MVP of the league.
And a favorite, the scoring champion.
Give me Angel Reese.
Hey, you know what? You guys can talk all that shit, but when Luca has like fucking a game winner, he wins conference
I,
MVP, some
I
crazy
said
shit like that.
I said earlier, bro. The reason I think the Mavericks are going to win is because Luca doesn't pack inevitable things to the Clippers. So I don't want you typing into the group chat. I told you because I already knew. I told you.
Bro better drop 80 so your take makes sense.
Yeah, he better. This dude better. This dude better break Wilt's record every single game. At that point, it'd be his own record.
Holy shit.
There's not a lot of growing bro could do. He's literally the MVP this year, most likely.
You think?
He's not.
Oh, he's
It's either of them. I mean, you can
It's
make the
either of
case
them.
for either.
Like
Uh,
Shea, Jokic, Doncic.
Yeah, but I don't think Shea's really in the running anymore. I'd say it's
Isn't
Luka
it?
or
what?
Jokic. Shea's
Bro,
not in
from
the running.
hold
Pause.
on, hold on. From what I've been seeing on Twitter and everything, it seems like everybody has been voting for Shea. Stephen A, for some reason he gets a ballot vote and he voted Shea. Someone else, I think it was JJ Redick, maybe.
Uh,
He voted Shea. And then I've just been seeing everybody say that Shea is number one on their MVP ranking.
That's because
I saw
people want Shea to win so bad.
I saw a really funny TikTok yesterday. It was like, all right, who should win MVP? And it was like a guy acting like Shea. He goes, I should win an MVP because I'm averaging 30 points. I'm on the number one team in the West. And they're like, yeah, you should win MVP. And then it's like Jason Tatum comes in. He goes, I should win MVP because I average 27 points. I'm the number one. Shut up. No one cares. And it like cuts off and it like says that. But that ass, no one cares. I don't think
Literally,
I'm just
bro. 27 on the
I don't
best
think
team in the
five.
league. What
I
does
don't think
Shea do that Tatum can't do?
I
Dead
don't think
ass.
either of them should win it. If I'm saying like I don't think Shea should win it. I don't think Tatum should win it either. But
I
I do
agree.
agree with you. I do agree with you that people are really pushing that narrative that Shea should win.
Like they want it so bad. They're pushing it
They like,
so hard. That's like the fan thing, bro. That's like NBA
yeah,
Twitter's narrative. Oh,
Does
Shea's
Kevin
I
MVP.
know.
Durant does Kevin Durant
It's
deserve to be on this list? Because he is. He's
no
number 9. I mean, he's on like
okay. There's literally not a
what?
chance in hell that
Wait, but for real though,
is even close.
what does Shea do that Tatum doesn't? Besides score 3 more points a game. Victor, this is a question
That's
for you.
what does Shea do that Tatum doesn't? I think Shea's better in the mid range. I don't think that even matters. I'm just looking for stuff. But
He averages more assists.
I don't know. I don't think Shea's better than Tatum. So I can't really like I can't participate.
I wasn't arguing for Shea to like win it or anything. I was just saying everybody on Twitter is saying for him to win it.
No, I mean that makes sense, but I know you do like Shea.
I
I
do.
know Shea, you said on
Isn't
this podcast Shea was your pick before.
he is, but I mean,
So
like
you
he's in.
so you just said you're not
No,
saying
hold on.
Shea should win it, but then you say Shea's your pick.
Sorry, I meant like that time Shea was my pick.
Who's your pick now?
I think Jokic or Luca.
But, but like which?
I don't
I'm
have
just
a
have to
interested
choice
to
right
know
now.
one.
because we we
You
are,
have
we
to
already
agree
know
on
it's
one.
one of them. But like,
Dude,
which
I
one
don't
would you
know.
take?
I like both. I would love
You're
to see.
asking him.
I,
You're
I
asking
I like all three players, which sucks. Like, if I had to give it to one, I think it would be probably Luca
Luca.
because 35 is insane. Not
34,
35, 9, damn near 35.
34 and 3.
So we're
Round up.
we're Luca consensus. So when I said Luca like 3 minutes ago, and
Round
everyone
down.
was like, I said Luca 3 minutes ago, and everyone's like, what? What are you talking about?
No,
Now
I
we
was
all
saying
now
that
we all picked
because
him.
no. I was saying that because like I didn't know that he was in the running for a top three. I didn't know that his team was a good enough seed. I think it should honestly be the MVP from what he's averaging. I wouldn't say it. I wasn't saying no because I don't think he deserves it. I think he does deserve it. But I didn't know that people consider the Mavericks good enough to give him the MVP award. I didn't know that he was like in the consensus of like and like getting picks from people to win.
Yeah, you know what? That actually is a good point. I wonder if his seating, because if his seating does matter, which I feel like it doesn't matter this year just because the incredible season he's had. And we've seen it before with Westbrook, but like, I don't know, man. If the seating doesn't matter between Shea and Jokic, oof. I mean, I'm probably still taking Jokic, but like, that is a lot closer, I think. Because Luca is my pick. So if he can't win it, then the race is a lot closer between those two.
But the only times, I think it's only been happened twice in NBA history from that Jimmy High Roller video he did, that a seed that was higher than 3 won the MVP for their player. It's always been 1 or 2.
It was Westbrook and who?
Jokic.
Oh,
That's
Well,
insane.
if Jokic
That's
can
very
do it, there's no
surprising.
reason Luca can't do it.
That's
I
why I
agree.
don't think Luca's gonna win it this year.
Harden?
Harden was a 1 seed, I think, the year he won it, weren't they?
You said
2019.
seed? That just sounded.
Yeah, they're like a 1 or 2 seed.
That's the year they almost beat. Is that the year they almost beat the Warriors with KD?
Yeah, but they missed like 800 3-pointers.
Yeah. Was that year? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think that was that year.
It went to like 7.
Dude. They
Was
had it,
Chris
dude.
Paul was still there, right? Chris Paul was still there. Was that the series him and Harden were like fighting in the timeout?
I think so, yeah. And then Chris Paul got hurt. He didn't play the last game.
Dude, he's like James Harden crying at practice because Chris Paul said he had man boobs.
You got him.
That was like that year, I think. Dude, that shit was crazy.
I never seen that. That's funny.
You've never seen that?
No, I remember seeing
Skip
that.
Bayless
Uh-uh.
on live TV said that. He got fooled by a fake tweet.
No. I never seen that.
Holy shit. You gotta watch that.
That's funny.
Chris Paul was making fun of James' man boobs in practice to the point that he broke down in tears and had to leave a couple of practices.
All right, so that concludes our playoff talk for this week's episode. We're now going to get into something deeper for our nation. The USA Olympic roster has been finalized, and they have assembled the Avengers. My God, it's going to go ahead and give a quick run through of the roster. You got LeBron James. We know who he is. Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, Joel Embiid somehow, Anthony Davis, D Book, Ant, Tatum, Bam, Halliburton, Drew Holiday, and Kawhi Leonard filling that 12th spot. Thoughts?
Where's Ben Simmons?
He got cut from Australia's team, actually.
Are you serious?
Yeah. He doesn't play. Why would they put him there? Australia is
Holy
actually like Australia is a competing team every single year.
Bro, they
Not
got
gonna have him.
they dead ass got Joe Ingles on that motherfucker. They can't have Ben
And he
Simmons.
hoops. Joe Eagles hoops for Australia. I don't get it, dude. These players, they play different for their countries, bro. Like, they
Dante
go
Exum.
crazy.
Dante
They
Exum.
got, they got Exum. Dellavedova made the team too for Australia.
Damn, I forgot about Dellavedova. Where's he at now?
I don't even think he's in the league, but he's on the Olympic roster.
Um,
Crazy.
damn. One thing I guess I'll kick us off because I just want your guys' opinions. One thing I saw, the projected starters have, I believe it's Curry, LeBron at the two. So it's Curry at the one, LeBron at the two, KD at the three, and then it's Anthony Davis at the four and Embiid at the five.
That's
That's
fucking crazy.
crazy. That's insane.
And you know who they play their second game? South Sudan.
Bro, all I'm saying is like,
Who's
first of
that
all,
coach? Is it Kerr again?
It's Steve Kerr, yeah.
don't they have they got the Gonzaga coach, I forget his name, bro. I'm tripping. Um,
Dan Hurley.
Wesley Snipes.
Oh,
That's
I thought
the
you said
UConn
UConn.
coach.
I thought he said UConn.
well, they got the Gonzaga coach. They got Spoelstra, I believe.
Yeah.
They loaded up.
Um, but yeah, bro, I guess my first question to you guys, because I'm interested to know, is Anthony Davis at the four and Embiid at the five. That's an interesting that's an interesting type of spacing right there. How do you guys think that's gonna be effective? Like, is that gonna work?
To me,
It's
there's
100% gonna work. You have LeBron
yeah.
and Curry and KD. He'll be fine, dude.
They-
Also,
I-
like I feel like the way they're gonna play, it's gonna be like positionless
Yeah.
in a way too. Like both these guys can stretch the floor.
Can they though?
Yeah,
Can Anthony Davis shoot threes like that? I
Against
mean, I
South
know he
Sudan, he's gonna
can.
look like a fucking demigod.
and he can hit them. Yeah, but like he plays out near the perimeter a good amount, setting screens, hanging out in the high post. And Embiid, we know, like we've seen him play ISO on the 3-point line.
He had
I
two
know
threes last
Embiid.
night.
I'm not saying Embiid can't shoot threes. I'm saying like we don't want Embiid to shoot threes when he's Joel Embiid. He's the best post scorer in the league. So like obviously he's not going to be out there. I'm more worried about Anthony Davis because Anthony Davis is like not a great 3-point shooter. So I'm just kind of wondering, is he going to be like short corner? Is he going to be like
don't know.
elbow
I feel
high
like
low action or like what's going on there?
I would assume short corner or high post because his mid range is really good and his post work is really good. His short corner shot, he hits that shot a lot of the times too. So I'm assuming if they have anybody on the 3-point line, it's going to be Embiid, and then working like low block, high post to short corner, it'll be Anthony Davis.
You think they're going to keep Embiid on the 3-point line?
I mean, it could alternate between the two. I don't think it's going to be like I stay here, you stay here. It's probably going to be like more of like a my turn, your turn situation.
Okay, yeah.
yeah,
No.
I wanted to add. I feel like obviously those very technical things that you guys are I mean not very technical, but those technical things that you guys are talking about, obviously those things are going to come into play, and I would hope that the coaching will play into the abilities of their players and what they know they can do well. But aside from all that, I feel like we're just thinking about this too damn much. Like this is literally just the lineup of fuck you. Like LeBron, KD, Curry, Embiid, and fucking AD. That's not a lineup that's like, oh, we're trying to, match up well against fucking South Sudan. No, that's Noah Lyles. Never
Bro,
speak on
there's other
fucking.
teams
I
besides
know,
South
I know, but
Sudan.
like, okay, fucking Spain or Australia or
They just
fucking
have one game.
France.
They
Like,
play Serbia first.
yeah. So,
Serbia's really good.
I just think that it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? This is definitely just like a fuck you to anyone that questioned the ability of the USA team. They're just stacking that roster, and because yeah, I mean, like you guys said, I mean, when you've got that many players on the court that literally can run their own team just by themselves, it's gonna be hard to play through one certain person, and you shouldn't, especially when you have this lineup. So I think it's gonna be a very position, like Kevin said, a positionless game, ball game, and for them, and they're just basically gonna dominate. I would hope. I would hope.
I think they're gonna dominate too. What I'm curious, I want to ask you guys is, what do you think their average points per game is gonna be? Over, under 130?
I'm gonna say
Under. Under.
averaging 130 is wild.
I know, but this is an all-star team right here.
Yeah, it's
All-star
a
game.
different style of ball.
This is
Oh, for
yeah,
sure.
it's
And,
completely different rules too. Games are going to be closer than people think. I believe some games. Now, as Daniel really wants to mention, yeah, they're probably going to kick South Sudan's ass. But like Spain, Australia, and Serbia, like those games are going to be close. They're going to be a lot closer than people think.
Yeah, I
I
was
think
gonna
they'll be
say like yeah,
close. Go ahead.
I was gonna say like people think this is like a like I get it is a fuck you lineup. Like that is what it is, but like I don't know. I think they're gonna be close as well.
I think the main thing that this USA team is Kevin's dying in the corner over there.
Because you only talked about South Sudan, like as the
Dude, just
only team.
stray. Like
South
every time.
Sudan.
South
And
Sudan.
I thought it was funny how Miles just had like enough of it. He goes, "Bro, there's more teams." I thought it was funny. I don't know.
No, that
All
is
right, I'm
funny.
done. I'm
I don't
done.
know. I just think I don't know. I guess there's nothing really else to add. I think yeah, there are some games that will be somewhat close. If there are games that are very close, though, I'm gonna be very upset because I guarantee the culprit of that is gonna be somebody coming off the bench or somebody on the starting lineup just taking way too many damn shots because they think it's a fucking all-star game instead of like competing for an actual gold medal. I think that that's going to be the biggest, like my biggest question mark is, are these guys going to be able to play well together as a cohesive team, or is this going to turn into what we saw this year with the All Star when like 16 future Hall of Famers lost to the East somehow by like 30? Bullshit.
If you're asking if Anthony Edwards is going to shoot right-handed, yes, he is. But I wanted to add like yeah, like they're gonna have some tough matchups probably. I think if Giannis plays, Greece is gonna be one. Slovenia, Germany too.
France.
France with Rudy Gobert and Wemby. I
That's gonna
forgot
be
about that.
yeah.
That's gonna be
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah, we'll be stretching the floor of that game if we end up playing them.
Yeah, you're gonna have to.
So I thought this was pretty interesting because we've seen AD play for the Team USA when he was in high school or coming out of high school going into college. And Austin Rivers said this that they should grab Cooper Flag, hell, make him the 12th guy, the experience it would give him. You're talking about grooming players for tomorrow and what that experience would do for these young talented players, especially in a draft class where you don't have a lot of star power. Throw the biggest star in there, throw Cooper Flag in there if that makes sense. For when they were debating on the last spot and they ultimately gave it to Kawhi Leonard. What do you guys think about Cooper Flag?
That's why
Stupid.
yeah,
I think they should
that's why
100% give it
Austin
to Kawhi.
Rivers that's why Austin Rivers is what he is right now. It's because of shit like that.
Yeah, because dumb shit like that. If they should have gave that last spot to anybody other than Kawhi, it should have been Carmelo.
Yeah.
There's a
True.
lot. Oh, actually, I
That
had
then that's
something.
a fuck you lineup.
This is Kawhi Leonard's first Olympics, which is surprising to me.
Been hurt.
I didn't realize it was his first Olympics. So we'll see how he performs. But Tyrese Halliburton on
Played
Team
last year.
USA?
Distributes the ball. He played in the FIBA.
Yeah, but was he the
Role player.
second best player? I don't think he was the second best player on that team because there's only two, right? What did Book play in FIBA?
No.
No.
Wasn't it only Ant and Tyrese that were on that team that are and
Did they have
Tatum?
Brunson? Brunson played
No,
last year too.
no.
Was it
Because I
Holiday
remember
on it?
Ant. I remember Ant going off.
Wasn't Drew Holiday on it?
I don't think he was. I can look
Yeah, I
it
don't
up.
think
I'll look
so.
it up.
I can't remember.
I just remember,
I
bro,
think
they had like Bobby Portis and Walker Kessler on that bitch.
Mikal
Jaron
Bridges.
Jackson, Brandon Ingram, I think.
Yeah, Brandon Ingram
No,
was
you're right.
there.
Yeah, Ingram was on it.
Jaron Jackson.
It's like all those players. Is Tyrese Halliburton really the one they kept from that team? Because obviously you're keeping Ant.
Bobby Portis, Mikal Bridges,
But
Josh Hart.
it wouldn't make sense to keep another big when you have Embiid, AD, and
Yeah.
Bam. You know,
Sure, but what about like Josh Hart?
Nah.
I'm
I'd
taking
probably
Hallie
still-
over Josh
Yeah, I'd
Hart.
probably still take Hallie over him.
I guess.
That's
I guess.
interesting.
I guess.
Halliburton's not here to score.
Yeah, I remember him not being like that great, but I could be tripping. So I don't know. That one just kind of stuck out as a little weird, but That might just be me.
I mean, I just think I think I told one of our friends this last night at dinner. Um, I think like the starting lineup was chosen, and then it became kind of the same situation that it is year to year, which is all right, who else wants it? And there was obviously an element of, like, okay, we want to pick good guys, but picking up Bam, did they need to? Could they have probably used that spot for someone else? Yeah, definitely. But when you have all of these guys, even I mean,
Hey, Bam's been playing good, bro.
no, I know,
Bam's good.
but like
No, I agree with the Bam.
but what I'm saying is that these players, like, there's a few of these names on this list, not a few, only like a couple that you could alternate, right? It's kind of like the anniversary 75 list where like there are some players that are interchangeable and you could make a case like, oh, this player's better, this player probably be more helpful. I don't know. That as long as that starting five and even like the next three positions are covered, they're in good shape, and I think they are.
I cannot believe Austin Reeves said put Cooper Flag on Team USA when people like Paulo Banchero
Rivers.
exist. Who did I say? Austin Reeves? Fuck.
I'm really surprised you gave kind of homage to Paulo Banchero there over like Jalen Brown. Who else? Who else is missing?
Like I'm
Paul
thinking of
George.
young guys who
Okay,
played
okay.
because he played on the FIBA team too. So like why would
Yeah,
you
he did.
why would Austin Rivers say to give Cooper Flag that spot when like Paulo
That's
Banchero
stupid.
exists? Like it's so fucking dumb.
I would have picked up Donovan Mitchell.
I think he was saying that because he wanted to get like younger guys more involved into it. Like, because they used
Nah,
to pick high school guys.
they always picked college guys. They never picked high school guys. So I don't understand like the logic there.
That's what
Because
I
with
meant.
the dream team, yeah, but he's saying pick a guy that's going into college. They were picking college players that were going into the NBA. They were about to get
No,
drafted
Yeah.
or
that's
that
what
just
I'm.
got drafted. So I think this makes even less sense from Austin Rivers.
For sure.
Now,
I
but
don't know.
there's really no like college player that had like that was good enough to like put on this team. They didn't have like Shaq or
You're
like
like, bro, we gotta win this year, bro. We don't got
yeah,
fucking spots
no.
for Cooper
When
Flag, bro.
yeah, bro,
That's such
we
a
have
good point,
LeBron.
dude.
We've assembled LeBron, Curry, and AD LeBron, Curry, and KD on one team. We don't want a high schooler here. We
Yeah,
don't even
no.
know if he's going to be good in college.
Might as well get
There's not
Bronny James at this point.
there's not
Yeah,
one
honestly,
person. Okay, maybe there's like one name that's not going to be a future Hall of Famer, I would imagine, on this list of players that they have.
Who?
I don't want to say. I mean, Drew Holiday. I feel like that's a
Okay.
one that you could question.
That's fair. He'll probably
But
still
he's
make it because it's easy, but it makes sense. It
Yeah,
makes
but
sense.
and Tyrese hasn't done enough, but I imagine he will
still
in
young.
his career. Yeah, but everyone else, D Book, KD, Edwards, those are all first ballot Hall of Famers. Everyone on this list, and then you put in Cooper Flag. No, it's not gonna work.
No, yeah, that was stupid. That was really, really stupid by Austin Rivers. When I saw that, I was like, nah, bro. Like he's going to Duke too, and I'm saying like, nah, bro. Like screw him. Like, I do not care to see Cooper Flag on this team.
They could put him on there for like experience, have him like get everyone waters, towels, shit like that. Be an extra body in practice.
Typical Duke player in the World Cup or in the Olympics.
All right, we're gonna get into the guest that NBA player by the quote. I got some quotes for them. It's gonna get harder as we go through, and I'm going to give a quote that I think is one of the all-time greatest quotes, and it's Antoine Walker on why he shoots so many threes, and it's because there are no fours. But one guess each player. We'll give hints after the third round. And for the first quote, this player is an active player. He said it this season, and it was on Wemby's future in the league and dominance so far. And he said, luckily, I'm on my way out, so I won't have to deal with it too much. Daniel, you're
One's
first.
easy.
Oh man, I know you say it's easy, but and I do vaguely remember someone saying this. I just can't put it on the tip of my tongue. I would assume.
Player on their way out of the league soon.
All right, I guess I'm just gonna take a guess. Give me PG. Paul George said that.
Miles.
You are my sunshine. LeBron James, my
Kevin.
glorious king.
I'm also going with LeBron James.
That was my first intuition, but I feel like that was too easy. That motherfucker never admits that he's on his way out of the league.
Daniel, you were wrong. And Miles and Kevin, you were also wrong.
Let's go.
Damn.
LeBron didn't say that.
I
No,
thought for sure that was LeBron.
Go.
this was Kevin Durant.
Damn,
thought
he
we get
ain't even that
hints.
old compared to LeBron.
Shit, 35 ain't you?
He's in the
Shit.
17th season in the NBA.
Or just made
Damn.
the Olympics team talking about I'm on my way out.
Here's the second quote. This player was asked on how amazing it is to see the success of his teammates. This is an active player. Assists make two people happy. Points just make one person happy.
So any point guard in the league. Watch it not even be a point guard. Give me Nikola Jokic.
Kevin?
James Harden.
Daniel?
My first guess was Luca, but then you said it's not this season, so I'm gonna go with Miles's guess and say Doncic too. Wait, Jokic.
You mean
Sorry.
Nikola Jokic?
Yeah.
Well, nice of you to tail him because you two were correct. It was Nikola Jokic.
Emmett.
So point
We
to
got the double
Miles and
guess.
Daniel. All right,
The
this is
power
where
of
it
a hint.
This is where it starts getting harder. This is an active player, but he said this when he was on an earlier team, and it was on Rudy Gay being traded from the Raptors to the Kings. And he said, "You can sink and drown, or you can stay afloat. And we're out here like Michael Phelps." Kevin, you have the first
He
guess.
said that. Can you repeat who he said that about? Rudy Gay when he was traded from what?
So I'll say it again. It was on Rudy Gay being traded from the Raptors to the Kings. They asked him how he felt, and he said, "You can sink and drown, or you can stay afloat. And we're out here like Michael Phelps."
You said this was a few years ago.
This was in
Former rap.
2017.
Fuck. Okay. I think I know who it is.
Kevin has the first guess, then Daniel.
Go. Give me Kyle Lowry.
Give me DeMar DeRozan.
Miles?
DeMar's a good one. That's the one I low key think. I'm between two, but since Daniel said it, I'm gonna go with Boogie Cousins, baby. Give me DeMarcus Cousins. Wait, is he you said an active player?
Active player.
Okay, DeMar DeRozan. Sorry.
I don't think we're
Well,
right.
you guys were right for going with DeMar DeRozan again.
Oh, hey, I got
Double
you back.
guess.
I got you back, Miles.
Dude, I've gotten two double guesses. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Y'all got to
Thank
zip it
you.
up.
I forgot
All
it
right.
was current player. There's no way if you let me guess Boogie Cousins, despite you saying it's a current player, I would have been pissed.
All right, here's the fourth quote. This is a NBA player who is not in the league anymore. And he simply tweeted this out. "No tats on the right arm, strictly for buckets."
You know this one.
That's
Daniel,
so
you're
easy.
first.
Damn it, dude.
Yeah, that one is easy.
Yeah, see, because I have heard this before. Let me just hold on. Let me take a
That
second.
should have been the first one.
It's been a minute.
Daniel, it's kind of a deep cut.
What does that mean?
Means it's not a star.
Can't tail this round, can you?
No, I can't. But I wasn't going to, pussy.
I'm just joking.
I wasn't trying to tail anyone. Those were my guesses. Give me Isaiah Thomas. Go on.
All right, Miles,
Nick Young.
Kevin,
Go ahead and give me Swaggy P as well.
Daniel, you were wrong. Kevin and Miles were right. Infamous quote.
Here we go.
And here's the final round. So going into it, Miles has 3, Daniel has 2, Kevin has 1. This was an active player, and this was a couple years ago, and he's still active in the league. He said this was on how he made Jonas Valanciunas stop trash talking. He said, when he asked for a fight for the 100th time, I finally turned to him and said, you don't want to mess with me. You use a knife and fork to eat your food. I use my hands. Miles, you're first.
Oh shit.
If nobody gets it, I'll give hints.
Okay, I like that. You said he's still active, correct?
Yes.
I'm gonna go with Giannis. I'm gonna go with Giannis Antetokounmpo on this one.
Not a bad guess.
Kevin?
Go Draymond Green.
Daniel?
I have 2 names in mind, but I'm gonna go with the one that came to my mind first. Give me Joel Embiid.
Nobody was right. Your guys' hint was he got traded this year around All-Star break, like the trade deadline.
No, it was at the it wasn't this season. It was at the deadline specifically,
It was this season at the
but like
deadline.
at the
Oh,
deadline though.
not at the deadline. It was February 1st.
Okay, so past the deadline at least.
The deadline is like February 16th, I think.
Before the
Or I'm
deadline.
sorry. I meant like right, like around the deadline.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I meant.
Okay. Because there were like trades that were like a week or two into the season and shit. Okay. Um, man, dude. I mean, I have one, but I don't think it's right. I'm gonna go ahead and say Pascal Siakam.
Kevin?
Pat Bev.
Daniel?
Ooh, that's a really good one.
Gordon Hayward.
Nobody was right.
Ew.
He is an
Damn.
international player.
International player, bro.
International play. Is it someone like we know? It's not like Simone Fontecchio or some shit, right?
He's no, he's well known.
Okay.
Trying to think of some nonchalant guys.
My next guess was OG Anunoby, but he's not a foreign player.
Canadian, actually.
It's definitely a big.
He's
Obviously.
Canadian? Oh yeah, he went to IU. I guess that confused me because he went to IU.
I'm gonna give you all another hint. He's a big.
I
Damn, that's
figured.
kind of
Because if
that's what I was going off.
Okay.
Fuck.
I just
That's
said
the
that
hint I'm
too.
Sad
screwed.
Bev.
I wanted to say Nurkic too, but he wasn't traded at the deadline.
that was one of my initial guesses also, but I was like,
Yeah.
Bojan Bogdanovic.
Kevin?
Ooh.
I had him in mind, but you said it was a big, and he's not really a big.
Oh yeah. Damn, I forgot that hint because I was about to tail that. That actually sounded like a good one. See, like Aiton is who I thought of, but that's not deadline. It's beginning of the season. An
Bismack
international
Biyombo.
Mo
Zero.
Bamba.
All right, give us
All
our
right.
hint.
I'm so lost.
This is the final hint. It's going to be the team he plays for. Is that cool with you guys right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it first to say it?
First to
Yeah.
say it. The Rockets.
Steven Adams.
Alfred Sengun.
Daniel got it.
Ah, fuck
go.
yeah.
Damn it.
Duh. I panicked. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Steven Adams makes
Former
sense.
OKC. Nonchalant big. I knew it had to be somebody that like doesn't fucking, talk shit that much.
I'm pissed,
So-
dude. I think about that trade I always talk about that
I
trade.
know. That's why I was surprised you didn't get it.
Fuck.
That literally, I think he was the only like name I could have mentioned from that trucking trade. The
Did-
tiebreaker now, I think, don't
Did
we?
you? Yeah,
Nah,
y'all got a
fuck that.
tiebreaker.
Fuck yeah, give me a tiebreaker.
This is gonna be the tiebreaker for you and Daniel. Whoever says it first.
Oh shit. Okay.
I haven't won in a
Th-
minute, bro. I'm
Fine.
hungry. I'm hungry
All
for a
right.
win.
This is the player was talking trash to LeBron, and he said, "Them footsteps ain't scaring nobody."
Ant
Dylan Brooks.
Edwards.
Neither of those.
Pat Bev.
No,
Bobby Portis.
no. Or another hint.
Just
This was
East
a
or West?
team
Oh.
West, and they were good 2 years ago.
Jimmy Butler.
What?
No.
Rudy Gobert.
Where did
Donovan
that
Mitchell.
wait?
No.
Wait, did you say the
Uh,
West?
Yeah, you said the
Yes.
West, and they were good.
I had Jimmy Butler in my head before you gave that hint, so I was
This
gonna say it first, no matter what.
this series, it was like a famous series for them. Like they just had like beef, you know. Lakers
years
The
and
dude
ago.
on Houston,
I know
no.
who it is.
fat.
One of you were really close. They're
He's not
bottom
former
5 in the NBA right now for the West.
NBA.
John Morant.
No,
Dude, what the fuck, bro?
Wasn't he on that team though?
yes,
Jaren Jackson.
Come on, yo.
Dylan Brooks.
No, I fucking
Fucking Tyus Jones.
no, bro.
Desmond Bain.
Yep,
damn.
Holy
Desmond
fuck.
Bain.
That's literally why would I've never imagined Desmond Bain as a shit talker. He would have been the last guy I guessed. He was the last starter, I guessed.
A shit to
You know who I-
LeBron.
All right, Mike won the interactive segment. Guess the NBA player by the quote. What do you got to say, man? First one.
It's not my first. Okay, it's my first win for this. Let's get it clear. Let's get this straight. It's not my first win in the interactive segments, but I've been on a cold streak. I needed to bounce back like this, and there's no better person to beat than Daniel because Daniel's from the future.
All right, and that is going to be an end of Good Morning Let's Basketball this week. We appreciate you guys tuning in. If you guys could make sure to subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed this so far, and we'll see you guys next week.